everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shakes and Fidget free-to-play playthrough. Today's episode, you see what we will cover. It's the legendary dungeon. It is open finally. As you know, it's weekend, and we would try it out with our free-to-play character. Before we start, if you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave the comment below if you want to see more of this content, if you want to add some suggestions, if you want to see some different content. I will be glad to read your comments and respond. But to start the episode, first of all, just to quickly cover, as we have 6 events currently ongoing. Actually, you can find 3 really rare pets during this event. I cannot find them on a free-to-play character because the pets are in the bottom rows of the habitats. However, I would like just to quickly tell you those which are. So the first one, because we have the tidy toilet time, this means you can find the Mantiflame. It is here. So you can find it in tidy toilet time. Then the second one, as we have the just a second, what was the second one? The I think Crazy Mushroom Harvest. So due to the Crazy Mushroom Harvest, you can find, no, actually, sorry, for the exceptional XP event, you can find the Luchtablong. And the last one, which is really rare, happens once per year, it's the water pet, this one here. It's the based on the birthday event. As you know, this week, actually was yesterday, 23rd, was the 22nd, sorry, it was the 14th year of Shakes and Fidget. So happy birthday, Shakes and Fidget. And I actually picked it up on my other characters, so don't forget to do that unless you would have to wait one other year. Quickly to cover the progress, we are level 177. We actually got the new epic here, quite a good one, personally, I would say. And other than that, we have been just leveling, and I have bought the 50% mount. As you can see here, I wanted to use the maximum of the exceptional XP event, and I did. I even spent a couple of shrooms to get. And also, because there is a Crazy Mushroom Harvest, the using of the 50% mount, it's actually doubling down, because you have higher chance to get mushrooms on the quest. And with the 50% of the mount, you can actually do more quests. So it's really nice. But everyone is here for the legendary dungeon. I would quickly cover what the legendary dungeon is, how it works, and similar, and then we will play through. I will probably record this in multiple parts because of the way how the dungeon sort of refreshes. And in order to, because there is an option that you use shrooms to refresh it, we, as a free-to-play player, we cannot do that. Then I would actually split it in a couple of episodes in order to bring you up updates on a regular basis on how it goes, and otherwise we will have to wait sort of 10 days until we would have the final outcome. But to cover the legendary dungeon, so legendary dungeon, it's an event which happens 4 times per year, so approximately every 3 months. There is a legendary dungeon. You can actually see on the screen in a second. So here it is. So these are the legendary dungeons which you have. Unfortunately, it's only available, I mean, potentially you can find it somewhere else. I use this website usually, and unfortunately this part is only available in Polish. However, you can see here what are the dungeons. There are 4 dungeons. Availability time is given next to it. And as we are currently in June, you can see that currently we have the Shady Birthday Bash. I am actually not sure if this is exactly the name which is given in the currently, yeah, it is. Just checked it. I will confirm it once more in a second. But we have this dungeon at the moment open. How the dungeons work is you have 100 levels, floors, however you want to call it, and in order to progress through each level, you would be given choice between 1 or 2, mostly 2 doors, and between these 2 doors you can select a 1 you enter the door, and then behind that door can be something. And there is multiple variety of doors. The first one, the most important one, is the Mysterio door. It's just a huge question mark, and behind these doors can be anything. It can be a monster, it can be a buff, a debuff, a reward, really anything. Chest can be anything. It can be also nothing. So it's really a variety of things which can be. The second one is the monster door. There is a huge monster on the door, and you know that behind you will see a monster. So after you enter, you would have to either fight or escape the monster. Then you have the locked doors, which is just a closed door, and you need to have a key in order to proceed. Then you have the cursed doors, then you have the trap doors, then you have the sacrificial doors. So there is a bunch of doors, and while we are playing, I will explain each one of them, now go through each one of them. And as you progress, you will be fighting monsters, collecting the keys to be able to go through the unlocked doors. You will be collecting gold, items, sometimes epic items, and each 25 levels you would fight a boss. These levels, so each part of the dungeon, there's 4 parts after each boss, they get progressively harder, and by the end you are fighting the final boss and you get a legendary item. Here, what you need to bear in mind, the dungeon is not level dependent. I mean, it is level dependent. You need to be at least level 50 to enter the dungeon. However, it is not gear or level dependent in terms of the damage you do. So the damage, as you can see here, is always based on the percentage. So the first 24 rooms, they deal 13% of your health. Regardless how much health you have, 13%. The first boss deals 16 damage. The next 24 levels deals 17 damage, if there is a monster, of course. And then the next boss, 21. And it goes further on. The last boss, the last room, the last boss deals 42% damage, 41.9. So this is the idea of how you fight. So you just need to have a certain amount of health. You don't have to be geared. You can do it without equipment. It's really irrelevant. The most important thing is that you know approximately these ratios. Why it's relevant? Because if you have 20% of health, you can defeat the boss. So you always need to have in mind at least these thresholds. This one here, the 50%, 75%, and 100%. So for example, in the case of 100%, you need to have, level 100, you need to have approximately 50% health to be able to beat the boss. Now, how it works is that you fight and your health does not regenerate. So as you are fighting, your health will be getting lower and lower until you die. After you die, there are 2 options how to continue the dungeon. Either you can use the shrooms, and you can see here, you can use 10 shrooms for 20% of health. And then there is also an option to use, if I'm not mistaken, 40 shrooms to restore full health immediately. So there is option A or option B. The second option, the third option is that you wait for 24 hours, because in 24 hours you would be regaining 100% of your health and you can continue. This is exactly what we will be doing in our case scenario as a free-to-play. Now, when it comes to what you will be fighting, what you can get there. So monsters are general, just flavor monsters sort of connected to the dungeon. So for example, fantastic legendaries and how to find them. It's an obvious homage to Harry Potter or the books Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. And you would see a lot of monsters and bosses sort of resembling the lore of the books. Lord of the Things, obviously Lord of the Rings. So obviously you have a bit of connection with this. When it comes to the Shady Birthday Bash, because it's a birthday legendary dungeon connected to the birthday of the Shakes and Fidget, you would have a lot of Shakes and Fidget stuff. So you will also be fighting the witch or the blacksmith as a boss, or Dr. Abavuvu, so it generally disconnected to this. Then here are actually the list of the different doors. I already covered what it means, but just to quickly cover. So glowing red eyes, this is the monster door. Stone and gold door with a golden skull and crown. There is a mini boss behind it. Door with a question mark is a mysterious, can be anything. Closed wooden door, it's locked door, you need a key to open it. Sacrificial, you would have to sacrifice a portion of your health to be able to pass. Cursed door, it has a bunch of some stickers, signs on it, warning signs. You would get cursed if you go through this door. You can go normally, but you would get cursed. Golden room, emanating golden light, so it would be open, but there is a emanating golden light here. You can either get some buffs or items, or it can be a trap, either to deal with damage or a monster. Door with a key symbol on it. This is a room where you have a key shop. You can use the keys which you gather to buy certain buffs. Here I would no way know what it is, unfortunately, but we will see. And then the last one is bricked up door, which is just a lot of stones, which means you cannot go there. This is why I said there's an option, either 1 or 2 doors. And then there is different blessing and curses which you can encounter. The best one, and actually I think here it's okay, it's not order, but the first 2 are the best ones. So the one hit wonder makes you kill the monsters with 1 hit, so they don't do any damage to you. You immediately kill them, and of course you get the loot key or whatever they might drop. Then there is the escape artist, so you are able to escape more easily, 80% chance to escape the room, so not fighting the monster. This one, Naježca, I tried to pronounce it, I really don't know. This generally gives you a buffed gold earning for certain amount of rooms, 100%. Disarm is you escape the traps, you don't get damaged by traps. Lockpick, you don't need keys to unlock the doors. This one, Kluczowy moment, as you get a 70% to get 2 keys from a fight. And then the last 2 are just restoring your health, either sort of as at once 25, 50 or 100%, or 10 to 20% per room for next 6 rooms. And then you have also the curses. The broken armor increases the damage you get. The poisoned, you get certain amount of damage per room. Gamaida, cannot remember how it is in English, but generally it reduces your escape chance. Then there is the puke thingy, where you get less gold by 50%, and hardlock, you need to use 2 keys to open the door. And the last thing to cover, if I'm not mistaken, yes, it is last thing when it comes to the dungeon, is that after defeating each boss, you would get a choice between 3 different gems of fate. These gems of fate provide you a buff, but come with a debuff. So for example, you have 30% more chance to escape the room, but if you don't, you get 20% more damage. So that's an example. I don't know exactly if this particular combination exists. However, there is a ranking of these gems of fate. You can see them on the screen at the moment. I will leave them for a second there. It just, you don't have to sort of remember all of them, and similar, just have the following, let's say, concept in mind, pointers. The first one, whenever you have as a debuff more damage, do not take that gem, because this would mean that you would die sooner. Then you would either need to use more shrooms, or you would need to wait for 24 hours. So this is one thing. The second thing is escape is always great. So whenever you have a gem of 8 which boosts your escape, This is a great one. Of course, it depends what the downside is, but it's a great one. So you always need to have, let's say, at least these two in mind. All the others, it's here and there. So I don't know, traps inflict curses as a debuff is also really, really bad, because in some cases you would not be able to escape traps and then you would additionally get cursed. So this one is bad. Of course, depends what you get as a bonus. Chance of unlocked doors, but reduced chance of keys. It's also okay, especially if you have a certain amount of keys already at hand. So it all depends on what you already have and what you have offered. So from that point of view, we will go through them. As I said, you can pause the video and take note of the ranking of the Gems of Fate. But that's more or less it when it comes how the dungeon works. I will now showcase the first 20-ish levels. I don't think I can finish more than 20 levels. Depends on the luck. The point is that the legendary dungeon is quite an RNG. Today I was watching the official stream of Shakes and Fidget, and one of the content creators, that of him, he actually managed with a single live finish the 100%, which is extraordinary. It's really, really almost impossible to do that. Usually you would have to die approximately 4 to 5 times in average in order to finish the dungeon to full. This would mean that you need 4 to 5 times of 24 hours wait time to refresh your health, which means in a best case scenario, within 10 days, how long the dungeon goes, you can actually finish it up to 2 times as a free-to-play player. If you're gonna use shrooms, then of course you can finish it much more. And the last thing to mention is why we are doing the legendary dungeon. Well, the legendary dungeon gives us legendary items. These legendary items are better than the epic items. There are always 3 stat items. They can never be full stat. There are always 3 stat items. They are unique, which means they exist only once in the book. So it's not like different colors and similar. They have specific names, and you can only collect them for the scrapbook by doing the dungeons. So you need to have this in mind. And once you have at least one of the legendary items in your scrapbook, you are able to mine legendary gems. And this is the most important thing about the legendary dungeon, because the more you do the legendary dungeon, the more legendary items you collect, unique items, the more percent chance you would have to mine legendary gems, which are far best gems there are. We will now go to the game to try and do. I will also give you some pointers while playing. So we will click and open. So this is the name of the dungeon. It will last for 10 days. And we can play. Now there are 2 here ways how to play it. The left is the normal way. The right one costs 650 shrooms. Generally, there is absolutely no difference in the way how it works. So if you die, you need to wait for 24 hours or your shrooms or similar. The only difference is you are getting 3 times more loot. So whenever you collect gold, 3 times more gold, 3 times more items, 3 times more resources. In the end, when you beat the final boss, 3 legendary items. So this just speeds up the process. We will of course do the legendary dungeon normally. You have here the explanation, all of the stuff which I already explained, so we will not go through them. You can take time to read through them. Again, the most important thing is the more legendary items you have, the higher the chance of getting legendary gems in your gem mine. So this is the most important thing. So as you can see, the first boss will be our favorite character in the game. It's the gambler. Yes, one thing. So here you can see the screen. Here is the number of items looted. This is just a bit of statistics. Number of items looted, number of epic items looted, times you were sort of running. So, for example, 1 means you only did 1, and this is what Berafim did. If you die at least once, it would of course increment. Number of keys found, number of gold earned. Here would be the gems of fate, and here you would also see each gem of fate what you get, and also here you can see that each part of the dungeon gives you a specific debuff. So for example, monsters can inflict curse here. So here when you defeat when you fight monsters, nothing happens. Here they might inflict the curse. And here also you can see that each 25 levels has a key master shop. So you always need to save some keys to be able to buy stuff in the key master shop. But let's go and see how it goes. So this is exactly what I said. This is the two out of 7-8 different types of doors. Here you have a monster, here you have a mysterious room. Tip number 1. In the first 5 levels, the first time you do a dungeon, for the first time, you should always go to the mysterious doors because you would never get a monster behind them. So this is more or less free 5 levels. So go left. This is a barrel. This can either give you a blessing or a curse. It's more or less 50-50% chance. So let's test it out. We got a buff which enables us to escape the traps. Again, second level. Do not always go Mysterio because it will never be a monster behind. Here is a normal chest. I forgot to tell you one thing, but hopefully I will get another chest to give you also a pointer to know when a chest is good. So we got a chest with gold. Again, mysterious room here. So if the chest has this circle type of I don't know, it's not hinges, I don't know the exact name, screws, whatever it is, this is a gold chest. If it has a triangle towards bottom, so the triangle points towards bottom, this is an item chest. If the triangle is upwards, this is a trap chest and it will be a monster chest. So never open that one. So this one, again, gold. This one, so here it is, the triangle below, this should be item. And as you can see, we got the item. There is an option here, you can always pocket all of these items and wait until it's the Witcher's Dance. So you can trash all of them if you have all unlocked enchants, or you can just keep it until next time there is an event with or a witch is accepting the chest. I have enough room, so I will pocket it, but in general I might sell it later on if I get better items. And so this is the brick door, these ones you cannot go, and this is the key door or a key shop door. The first time, on the 5th level, first time you enter the dungeon for the first time for those 10 days, so not like if you finish the dungeon and restart, the first time only this shop will appear on a level 5, it will not appear afterwards, and also it will be free. So you can see here that it's free to buy. Usually you can use shrooms to cycle through this options to buy, but here you'll always have these two. One is the escape artist, so artist or assistant, so gives you 80% to escape. Second one is the one-hit wonder, being able to defeat the monsters with one hit. Always take this one. So this is the best buff there is. Of course it's situational, like if you have 20% of health and you have like 5 levels left, makes sense to take a heal so that you don't have to, that you don't die, because one-hit wonders do not work on bosses, so it's much better to have health rather than buff. So always it's situational, but in a normal case scenario this is the best one. So we will take this one, and now from now on, because we have 4 rooms this buff, we always hunt the monsters and we always attack them because we will kill them immediately. So unfortunately here there is no monster and it would go down. Here you can see that there is a trap, but we have disarm traps, so we can go there without losing any health. Actually, I did not explain you, but you can see this icon, you can see that there is shakes here. So this, if you click now here, you would try to escape the room. You have, let's say 50-50% chance to escape the room, not considering the buff or the debuff. So you have a 50-50% escape room, but since we have the one hit wonder, of course attack, because no reason. And we got to a key. This is also a reason why we should attack always when we have one hit wonder. And unfortunately now we don't have any more than one hit wonder, and we are now sort of between in a normal case, and this is a normal case scenario, you would have two doors and you just go on. Here I want to give you an information. Never use keys on locked doors if you are perhaps not last level before boss or something like that. Use keys only in such cases, or use keys only if the second option is really, really bad. The idea is you should always have at least 4 keys to be able to buy one hit wonder for 8 rooms, if I'm not mistaken, is the bigger one. So you need always to store some keys. You can utilize the keys after, let's say, level 80, 85, because then you don't need keys anymore, because there is no shop anymore, and it would just you would skip through a couple of floors, because behind the locked doors usually there is no monster, so you can always go through. Here we will not utilize the key, we only have one. Let's go here. Now we don't have one hit wonder, but what you need to take into consideration is the percentages which I mentioned. So for the first 25 levels, 24, the mobs deal 13% health. Later on they would be dealing more. So always use the first 24 levels. This is a tip number 2. Always use the first 24 levels, or the lower the level is better, to hunt for the keys, to gather the keys. So here we would fight, because you can see we got 10% damage, but we got the key. Later on they would be dealing 20% of health or more, so you would die quite fast, so it does not pay off to hunt for the keys. Now this is the 2 other type of doors. This is the sacrificial door. If I go there, I will lose some health. Here it's the golden light door, where it can either be something good or something bad. It's something good. So behind this is an epic item, but we need to unlock it with the key. I would actually do this because I need items, so no reason not to do. And it's actually a significant upgrade for us, and it has a gem slot, so perfect. This is perfect item for us. So we lost 1 key. Fine, we can continue, but we got a really nice upgrade. So again, we will be fighting. As you can see, this one does not go down. The reason why it does not go down, it only is sort of will go down once you use it for a trap. It says usable for traps. Here is a trap. Perfect. So let's go further on. I will actually show you now the escaping thing. I don't know if I will be able to escape, but just to show you how it works. So if I click now here, I would fight, but if I click on a side, I would escape, and you can see I did not receive any damage. So there is a 50-50% chance, again, a lot of 50-50s here, to not get any damage when you try to escape. There is also a chance that you would get the percentage of damage which the monster usually does. So you can either try to escape or not. This is why the buff Escape Artist or Assistant, which gives you 80% of dodge chance, is really great, because it's almost guaranteed that you would escape, so you would never receive any damage. So this one is also great. Again, trapdoor, not a problem. I will continue fighting because we need more keys. Now I will actually try to escape. Now I have 4 keys, it's more than enough. I don't want to lose too much. I will try to escape a couple of them. So I escaped. Let's try again. Escaped again. Perfect. So you can see we are level 19. Floor 19 for the first boss at level 25. If you remember, we need, was it like 19%? Let me quickly check. So it is quickly. 1, 2, 3. It is 16% of health. So this is the most important thing which we need to take care is that we have 16% of health. So we cannot lose more than half what we currently have. But I don't think this would be feasible. Exactly. We are now on the almost this 16%, so no way. But let's try again. Sometimes you would have this. This is just pure RNG. You can either go left or right. I'll go right now. Bad choice. And we are dead. So we are on a floor 22. We died. Now you can also see here that we are quite far away in this one. We collected some gold, some keys, items, epic items, and similar. So if we now want to enter, we can either use 10 shrooms or 48 shrooms for full, or if we go back, we wait 24 hours. And this is what we are going to do. So that's it. This is exactly what the legendary dungeons is. You can see all the floors here. You can also see here that this one is really bad. So if you fight a monster, you would get the broken armor, which is the increased damage by everyone. So it's really bad. And this includes boss. So for example, the last boss, you would need to have 50% of health. Normally, you need to have like 70% of health to be able to beat him. It's really bad. So that's it for the legendary dungeon. In the next episode, I will continue. So I will now try to record on a daily basis to use the 100% health and try to proceed onwards. Quickly just to go this one. It's a really nice item, you can see, and actually we had a normal one, so we now get an achievement because we have now fully epic equipped. So we should get an achievement. Here it is, epic purist. Have only epics equipped. So really good one. And we would now, what is the strongest? I would not use this one. I'm saving this for the weapon. So this would be the strongest, and we would immediately upgrade, let's say 3 times. Really nice one. Even though it is an all stat, it would be much better if it would be a 3 stat, but still it's a really nice upgrade for us. So that's it for this episode. I hope you liked it, and I hope that you would try and then do the legendary dungeon within these 10 days that we have and get some legendary items. I will actually just quickly show you on one of my characters how the legendary items look in the scrapbook. So you have here legendary items. If you go here, you can see a lot of items, and all of this is sort of scrambled. Once you collect it, it would write the correct name. So if I go now to the legendary fantastic legendaries and where to find them, you can see I got the weapon. This was so funny. Like it was a completely new server start, and the legendary dungeon was almost immediately there. I did one run and I got the legendary weapon. Weapons are extremely hard to get, and I immediately got it. So it's really nice one. So you can see that I collected some 5 and here 8 different legendary items. So it's a really good one because now I have some percentage of chance to get legendary gems. Last thing to note for the legendary items, if you are a non-shield character, which means anything but a warrior, the only way how you can get the shield items is if you drop a weapon into the toilet, and there is a 33% chance that it would turn out a shield and it would count as a collected. This is the way how I got the magic shield here. So this is just a last thing to note in order how to get sort of the most of the items from the legendary list. And also to know that every time there is a legendary dungeon, there is usually a couple of new items available to be collected, and which would of course increase the chance. So for example, this time this one is new if I'm not mistaken, and I think these couple of news here are new. You can see here not available yet. These are some to come in the future. Anyway, thank you very much for sticking with me, and see you in the next one. Live long and keep on gaming.